It happened during lunch break, under the blazing sun, when the worst side of middle school revealed itself. Sophie had just transferred to Lincoln High 2 weeks ago. She was the new girl, quiet, reserved, still carrying the weight of her family's sudden move from another city. She wore clothes from last season, her hair always tied in a simple braid, and her lunch was usually leftovers packed by her mom with love, not fast food like the popular kids. She didn't bother anyone. But in middle school, sometimes that's enough to make you a target. On that day, Sophie walked across the courtyard, her tray shaking slightly in her hands. She looked for a quiet place to sit, away from the loud tables where the so-called cool kids ruled. That's when she heard the giggles behind her, sharp, fake laughter that made her stomach twist. "Hey, new girl. Where do you think you're going with those ugly pants?" Sophie froze. Her face turned pale, her eyes downcast. She recognized the voices. Madison, Amber, and Zoe, the school's mean girl trio. Everyone knew them. They had power. They were cheerleaders, they had perfect Instagram feeds, and they knew exactly how to break someone without leaving a bruise. Before Sophie could react, Madison stepped forward, grabbing the waistband of Sophie's pants. "Let's give her a makeover." Madison laughed cruelly. Amber joined in, yanking at Sophie's pants from behind, trying to embarrass her in front of the whole courtyard. Some kids pulled out their phones. Others just stared, too afraid to intervene. But this time, they had picked the wrong girl. Sophie's breath went cold, not from fear, but from something she hadn't felt in a long time, anger. She wasn't just the shy new girl. What no one at Lincoln High knew was that Sophie had trained in Krav Maga for 3 years back in her old town, a skill her dad had insisted on after she'd been bullied once before. She'd promised herself she wouldn't fight unless she had to, but this was enough. With lightning reflexes, Sophie twisted her hips, grabbed Madison's wrist, and bent it backward. Madison gasped, dropping her grip instantly. Sophie didn't stop. She spun around, catching Amber off guard. With one swift move, she delivered a palm strike to Amber's chest, not enough to hurt her seriously, but just enough to send her stumbling back onto the lunch table behind her, spilling juice all over her white cheer uniform. Zoe tried to lunge forward, but Sophie planted her feet and swept Zoe's legs from under her. Zoe landed flat on the ground, her phone flying from her hand. The courtyard fell silent. Sophie's voice was calm but cold as ice. "If you ever touch me again, I promise you, I won't stop at this." The bullies, humiliated and stunned, scrambled to their feet. Madison clutched her wrist, eyes wide with shock. Amber wiped juice from her face, trembling. And Zoe, who always had something mean to say, found herself speechless for once. For a moment, Sophie thought the crowd would jeer, or worse, turn on her. But then something surprising happened. A girl from the back, a quiet, chubby girl named Emily who usually sat alone, stood up and started clapping. Slowly, other students joined in. Kids who had been silent for too long, who'd watched bullies run the school without saying a word, finally had someone to cheer for. Sophie stood there, her heart racing but her chin high. She hadn't wanted to be a hero. She hadn't wanted to be noticed at all. But sometimes standing up for yourself makes you stronger than you ever imagined. The next few days weren't easy. Sophie had to face the principal's office. Madison's parents tried to cause a scene, but after several students came forward with videos showing the bullies attacking first, the school took Sophie's side. For once, the truth won. Sophie became known as the girl who fought back, but she didn't let it get to her head. She stayed kind. She sat with Emily at lunch. She made friends with kids who had once been invisible. She showed others it was okay to defend yourself, to draw boundaries, to refuse to be treated like less. Challenges Sophie faced. Overcoming her fear of confrontation. Facing the risk of school punishment. Being labeled or misunderstood after the fight. Learning when to use strength and when to show compassion. Building trust in a new school after a painful experience.